listening to you give me so many compliments. So thank you.
God, you're just amazing, and I just love you, and I don't get to see you in real life enough. So I will take this, and I'm so happy about it. Can you see Gizmo? Oh, he's on my lap. I think it's cut off now.
Well, but I'm seeing that spray and the crystal that you gave me in my Serena Love Kit. I love that so much.
Yay! I'm so glad. We actually just had something amazing. One of my clients, Carrie Washington, she just shared about it on Vogue, like for the weekend. Well, we're on Wednesday now, so I guess it was on Friday, and she didn't even tell me. It was a total surprise. It was just I started getting these notifications, and it was just so cool. So I'm so happy that something that we've created with love is bringing love and joy to other people. So it's why we do what we do, right? And I'm so happy that you're here today. I know you heard me raving about you for like 2 minutes, but I was going on for a few minutes before that. You just have, from the moment I met you, you exude what it is that this title is about, creating space for humans to thrive. Like, you're just so inclusive. And I was telling everyone how you and I met with Jessica at, we were at like a coffee house somewhere down the street in Santa Monica.
I love Jessica. I love Natalie Clean.
Yes. She's amazing.
Helpful person in the world.
She is just the best. And I was talking about her too, and how I'd had her in studio at CNLS TV back when there was a studio, and how amazing her bodies are, and just the way we met, and it was just sort of like there are 3 women who were founders of different things, were passionate about different things, and how she was like, I have this thing called Just Add Water, and my sister was like down the street, brought some over, and you hadn't even tried it yet, and you looked at it and you're like, wow, this is amazing, and you shared it, and I was like, this person is a beautiful soul, because immediately you're embracing just me as a fellow female trying to create something for the community that will benefit them, and you were like, let me try and help, and then I find out that you created Hello Giggles, which is this massive online community for women, and that you truly are just about creating opportunities and space and for humans, to just thrive, which is the title of this, but that's just who you are, and that's the life that you bring.
I think one of the things that I was so impressed by is when I do not drink any water. So I know that so right away I'm like, I love the life hack. So I was like, is this the solution? I just cannot get myself to drink water. It's very hard for me. So just add water was very much of a solution-based thing of it. But more so, I don't really consider myself a creative person. I'm trying to work on more of my creativity, but I do consider myself a supportive person. So I just double down on supportive it. And I thought that, you were a friend of Jeff, and I was so seem so healthy and bright and positive. And I want to take Reiki with you when this is all.
Yeah, we have to do it. I mean, I do distal Reiki too, but I know.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been doing it all year because of COVID, and people have really needed that healing energy for themselves.
What is Reiki? If you had to tell me the main benefits of Reiki, what would that be?
So Reiki is essentially, and I just want to put it out there that I'm a Reiki master, and I was trained and took the courses and studied, but truly, I feel like anybody can really channel energy, and Reiki is, the Japanese style of it, and you're basically channeling in, we're conduits, and so we're bringing in source energy, universal energy, love, light, and we're with intention putting it towards a specific direction. So it can be towards a person, towards their energy chakras, towards an area that there may be pain or blockages or density, but it can also be towards a situation, a place, a location, a circumstance. So at the end of the day, it's really you're just really putting intentional, focused energy, and using, you're channeling the love and light of the universe or source or whatever it is that you believe, and you're almost visually, and you're putting it in a certain direction. And that's really what
you could do a live Reiki. I would love to do that with you.
I mean, we're going to focus on you right now, but we could totally do that.
Okay, well, I would love it. Yeah.
And I also studied pranic healing, which is where you're clearing energy before you're putting energy in. So you're kind of clearing out stuck energy before you bring in the light and, beautiful, positive love energy. So I feel that they work very complementary with each other, but that's essentially what Reiki is. And there's all different modalities for moving energy, for clearing stuck energy, for bringing in energy. Reiki is one of the modalities, but I believe that we're all energies of light. We're all beautiful souls, and if we put that focused attention, like we can all kind of do that, whether or not you call it Reiki or something else. So that's basically what Reiki is. But we want to talk about you for a second.
Okay, great.
And I know that you don't talk about your next. I'm like, I really want her to come on and I just want you to, if you could just share with everyone a little bit about your journey and like what inspires you to do what you do. Like you do so much more than you give yourself credit for, because when you want to create that space and that energy, that actually takes a lot of your own. That just talking to you on a personal basis, I don't think you realize how much of your energy that you give to others as you help to create energy and light for them. So,
well, thank you. Basically, I grew up in LA and I did not go to college, which I'm looking into now because I feel like those were.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really wanted to take classes and just stimulate myself. I started working right away. Mm-hmm. I was a producer for this MTV show, like The Hills and The City, which was with Lauren Conrad and stuff, and it was really fun. And then after that was over, I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. And then I saw that there were a lot of sort of websites, but they were more fashion and beauty based. And not that I didn't like fashion and beauty, but they didn't really relate to me. So then I got with my friend Zoe and my friend Molly, and we created Hello Giggles. It's about 7 or 8 years ago. And then we sold it about 3.5 years ago. And now it exists separate from us. It's totally this community.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so amazing. And honestly, the reason why I think that part of my instinct is to always be oh, I'll help you or I'll support you is we were contributor based. So we always needed other people to help support us. So it was just really exciting to have that be what the base of the content was. So it was sort of more of we would only succeed if people were willing to, post for us. And our job was to just edit it and curate it, but we didn't have staff writers at the time of it. And then after that, now I'm really curious as to why we sort of were in touch. I'm more curious about something more that was media and marketing, and I really enjoyed that. But now I'm really curious about a tangible product. I'm curious about the food and health space. I've been consulting for Bragg Life Foods, the apple cider vinegar. You did a live with us.
I love
trying to learn more about health and wellness. Just because I personally, on the journey, I have felt like I exerted a lot of energy and I held on to a lot of things. And I think that part of it was you really have to have that perseverance and push through to build a business, but you often don't really take care of yourself in that way. Yeah. So especially over quarantine, I was joking with a friend, I am one of the few people who lost weight in quarantine because I just honestly felt like there was nothing else to do but to be healthy. So really trying to create. I'm working with Chef Roy Choi and Justin Choi.
I love him.
Yeah, and
so great.
Him, and we're working on creating a seasoning packet, and that'll be out in the spring. It's called Kino.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait to give you some recipes of it. But just I've been cooking so much. I know that you
love that.
The real professional here. But I just feel really, when I'm in charge of my ingredients, I feel a lot better. And I don't know, I'm really liking that. So that's sort of going from media. And then one of the cool things that I like to sing, I'm sure everyone feels this way, is that, I had a media company, but I didn't have a product. And now all products have to become media companies,
Yeah.
So it's now I'm sort of learning, okay, now when we do have a product, we're working with Bragg, all the great people over there, what is a product? How do you make that a media? How do you, not just on social media, what are the content? What's the newsletter? What's the voice and narrative that you have? There's so much content. Every platform is making stories, and so it can be exhausting, but I think you have a fun compass of what to talk about. So I'm very curious. Food and wellness is all not necessarily the functional space, just the flexibility and just like the nurturing of your own meals of it. But yeah, I would love to take a class with you because I'm trying to learn.
We should do culinary alchemy. I mean, I think we talked about when we first met, like we should do, I'd love to gift you a culinary alchemy session, which is
tell me, how would that work?
So culinary alchemy is my practice, and it's basically where it's a whole comprehensive overview of you. So it's really looking at how we support you through your physical and your spiritual nutrition. So we go through your life, so I have an idea of what's going on with your insides, like what your micronutrient levels are, what your inflammatory markers are. I mean, we go through the whole thing.
I'm exhausted all the time. I'm sure people are saying this, but I don't drink or smoke, and I am just so tired all the time, and I'm wondering if that's like hormonal or is that hormonal or food?
So I think just intuitively, because part of culinary alchemy is I do like a Reiki session and I do like an intuitive session on you, and then it's pretty comprehensive intake form.
Oh my God, I want to do this.
I'm looking at like Ayurvedic, especially looking at your signs and all of that. And so I think it's definitely your adrenals, but probably what you're doing to support your sacral and your root chakras. So your chakra systems, and you probably already do energy work and have healers and people that you talk to. But there's a collaboration between your physical body and your energetic body, and we use food and different types of modalities and supplements to support that. So that's basically what culinary alchemy is. I would love
to do that, because I feel like even though I lost weight, I'm still so tired all the time, and I work out. So I do find that if you think it's adrenals, I've heard that before.
I think it's that, but I also think it's also the energy of the collective. So, there's a lot of density that's coming down on us, and just what the year has been. Yeah. There's so much shifting, and there's a lot shifting like in the universe, with the planets, and we just are coming off of another super intense solar eclipse and a huge new moon. And so our bodies, and because you don't drink enough water, that's a part of the reason why, because our bodies are comprised of over 70% water, and energy needs water to move. So, just like our physical bodies need the water, it's like lube, our energetic bodies also need the water to help the chi and the energy flow.
How much water a day should people be drinking?
Okay, so I mean, my number freaks people out, but I'm like, that's your goal. So let's say you want to lose weight, it's like one ounce per pound that you weigh. That's your goal, which might be a lot for people. So I'm like, try 3/4 of the way there. But I personally think, at least 3 liters of water.
Waking up with Ryan to drink that water. Have you met him? Oh my God, you need to do his challenge in January. He's amazing. I'm going to take this up.
Yes, I think I know him through Kelsey. So
he's amazing. Yeah.
Kelsey. So I actually have been going through all these comments that you guys are so cute. I just love you guys, always supportive, and I love your hearts and all your comments. But anyway, so that's probably part of the reason why too. And we can do a session. We'll do a culinary alchemy session. You'll gather all your labs.
That's a lot of water, but
it is.
Just when you say it.
Just make it a goal, So it's a goal. Oh my God, yes. I know it's been forever since I've seen you, but I'm seeing you now, or you're seeing me now, and I need to see you soon. So but that's your goal. So you probably go through maybe 1 liter to 1.5 liters of water in a full day. And I'm guessing, just with what you told me. And 1 liter is about 33 ounces. So
it's very low. I mean, is that like water included in my meal?
That's like water. That's not like liquid. So that doesn't count coffee or tea. Right. So I'm guessing it's about 1 liter. So we want to times 3 that, but we'll do it incrementally, and you'll definitely feel better. But we can for sure work on that, because that's the least that I can do for you, because of all the energy that you bring to the world and everything that you've done. And, one of the things that I would love for you to share, because right now everything is online and people are inspired by so many different things, but people are also, I think, they're confused, right? There's a lot of uncertainty, and even going into 2021, even though it's a new year and not 2020, you created this platform basically because you want to inspire people and you want to empower women and create that kind of support. So that was definitely years ago, and there's more resources now. But like, what are some tips that you can give people, like how to start? Like, where did you draw that passion from? And how can people transform that passion into something that could become, a platform?
I think it goes in different ways of it, but I think that so many people right now have a lot of time on their hands, and also, at the same time, the time looks different. Even if you have families and you're taking care of, definitely things have changed a bit. But I think like getting yourself stimulated in any way, like I recently started taking a bunch of online classes. I figured that like I'm very spiritual and like religious person, so I think that for me, sort of having like a strong spiritual life allows me to feel more inspired in that way. But I just got an alert yesterday that I was on Tumblr like 11 years ago, and I just always feel like the platform where you feel the less stressed about, like Instagram, everyone's on, but like playing around with Twitter, or playing around, even on like posting on LinkedIn, like just going somewhere where you don't feel self-conscious. And I think that sort of articulating how you feel at any given moment, someone probably feels the same way, which is like such a connector. One of the things that was like our compass at Hello Giggles was like talk about things that are, topical, but they're not news. So you can think about what is topical to you and write about it or talk about it. And like, even I think a lot of people right now are looking to mentor and to also be mentored. So I think reaching out to people and asking if you can do that. I think having support systems of meditation, having Zoom, recording Zoom sessions, offering up a skill set you have. Like I love these Zoom cooking classes. People are having their bread baking. So I think anything I wonder what platforms will look like in a few years. Whereas like before you used to go to a website and do that, and now you're really just having social media be your platform, the one of your choosing, and I like a lot of fun on Pinterest of it. So I think like getting your community together, like as much as I think people have felt really distant, yes, exactly. I was actually going to say it's a victory challenge with Ryan, because I do think having these routines that you can like check in on and check off like has been super helpful for me. Like I know I wake up every morning and I TM and I do like there's the Jewish prayer when you wake up, like right when you open your eyes. Yeah. It's called Mozani. And I like literally right when I open my eyes, I like say a thing of gratitude. Like and sometimes I don't feel it, and I have to sometimes talk myself into those habits. And cooking for myself is like one of the things that's been really good. Is I know that like if I make myself a meal, I often feel better, even if it's not as fun as I wanted it to be. Finding ways, I keep Shabbat, so I turn my phone off from Friday afternoon, from sundown to sundown Saturday night.
I love that.
Yeah, that really supports me a lot. I've been doing that. But I just been like connecting with people and asking them for advice. Like I'm obviously in a new field of like food and beverage that I don't know about, and I am like reaching out to people like you or Jeff. I often find that people are really, if you're going not in a competitive way, curious way, people are really often able to give you that advice. And if you ask 5 people for advice, maybe one responds. But I have felt like, especially starting a spice company, which I have no idea how to start it, asking people like just the basic steps and starting small. Like with Hello Giggles, we started really small. We posted 3 times a day, and then we went to like 100 times a day. So I think that you can just like increase that in any way. But I really need to be recharged. So that's like a big thing for me, is like getting like my routine in check of it. I'm a little bit scared that like, I'm not supposed to have coffee. So when we do our session,
well, don't worry, because the way I work is I'm not about giving people lists that they can't do. I'm about
you don't drink coffee, if I remember.
I don't. I like matcha. So I used to drink coffee. I mean, in college, I was doing like double, triple espressos. And then at some point, it was just, my body didn't like it. Like, I love the smell of coffee. I love things that are coffee flavored. But it's just a little bit too acidic for me. And so I do matcha. But I mean, I like my matcha strong. I just
Have you tried? I saw there's like a chaga, it's like a powder you can add. I haven't tried chaga.
I've tried that, but that's mushroom, so it's different. It doesn't carry the same type of caffeine that coffee does. But I mean, it's really about balancing every aspect of your body. So your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual. This is just like what I've learned through my journey. Having had 8 surgeries, having after I was died after one of them, and just all my journey through starting from when my parents had cancer to all my surgeries and my health stuff. What I learned was that, you can be working out every day. I can be eating as clean as possible, with the occasional cheat that's probably like vegan, gluten-free, and sugar-free, but still maybe not be in full alignment because I was sort of missing that one pillar of spirituality and like working on that energetic body and supporting and nourishing my energetic centers, energetic body. So that's what I learned and how I came up with culinary alchemy, and that's what I do for my clients. So that's what we'll do.
Actually, think of your parents. My dad is in recovery for cancer now, and he got down to 90 pounds. And it's so interesting that like all the doctors were like, this is just a calorie, like their suggestions were to go to like McDonald's and have like a McFlurry or to just take Ensure. And it was one of those things where he's very American and like has a very American palate. So I don't think it's hard for him to want to take that. But I was like, how are we going to incorporate other healthy things to it? And a friend of mine, Bridget, who works at the Cleveland Clinic, she was like, you have to get him off Ensure. Like, you need to get him more fruits and vegetables. So it was just trying to find that balance of it. But it was so interesting that like it was just a calorie play, and it was like one of the best hospitals in the world that were suggesting that. And I understood why they said it, but I was like, oh, this is so sad that like this is the way that nutrition is not applied in the areas that need it the most. And also, the areas like schools and hospitals is like where food is needed the most, and it's like the worst for you. So that's the food space I'm really curious about, like lifestyle. Obviously, I love like healthy food and eating well, but like what's the like food solution to that too?
No, absolutely. And that's really, that's how I got started was when my daddy had cancer, and it was looking at the food and how we could use it not just as medicine for the body, but medicine for his heart and for his soul, and then that's what brought me to culinary school. And our mom had cancer right after my dad passed. And so, and she's okay now, but they were like 40 in their 40s. And so that's really how my journey began, but seeing what was recommended by doctors, and then when our grandmothers, it's always Ensure, what's in the hospitals and what the doctors recommend is not usually what is the best thing. It's just sort of like a very simple, quick fix, something they can just tell you to go do 2 cans of this. And as you say, calorically, like the numbers are there, but if you look at what it's made of, it's just not things that our body and our cells thrive on. What our body wants. We really have to like connect with Mother Nature and like what we have from the earth, and that actually holds so much more healing power. We'll get together because I would love to help, and let me know how I can help your dad. I have actually right now even several clients who have cancer, and one of them is doing so well, and it was just super, intense, hardcore for 3 weeks, but nothing that was hard for them to do. It was just just every day, made sure they had all the right things, and they were just doing so well. I couldn't be.
I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, I mean, so much of it about it is willpower and perspective. So I curious about that. Yeah,
and then giving you all the things you can have and all the things that you can do instead of the opposite, which is really what kind of Western medicine has a tendency to do. Like, you can't have all these things. And so the way I work is just like, well, here are all the things you can have. Like, here are pages and pages of things that you can have. And let's just put it together and see what we can make from this. Because here are all the things that you can have that your body's going to love, and your organs and your tissue and everything's going to love. So because I personally had 8 surgeries, I know how to optimize your cells, your tissue to really heal and absorb those nutrients. Because when you go through that process, it's so disruptive for not just our physical body in terms of what you see, but like the fascia, our tissue, our gut, our brain, like everything is sort of like, whoa, we just went through a big train wreck. What's going on. And so it's really like working with all your different organ systems, working with your physical body, but also working with like your chi, your energetic body, your prana, also to see what the body needs and what the body wants. So that's what, it's a big, big part of what I do. And I was doing that when I was actually healing from my surgery because I couldn't cook. I wasn't able to use the left side of my arm, left side of my body, my upper body and my arm all the way down for like 6 months. So I couldn't cook, but I had all this knowledge and I knew what to do with the body with food. And so that's a big, and we'll help your daddy. We'll definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to learn more about that kind of stuff. That's sort of the curiosity lane that I'm in.
Yeah. And you're working with Chef Richard, who is like a genius, a culinary genius. So, he knows how to make everything taste amazing. He knows how to just knows how to move your emotions with flavor.
Yeah, that was a big thing to learn is that, I felt like being healthy, I thought I had to sacrifice flavor.
Yeah.
And I think that is just like a grilled chicken. I mean, I don't eat chicken, but before those sort of like plain meals felt like that's what it was. And then when it was knowing that like my palate has expanded so much more and learning with spices and certain sauces, just like learning that like flavor really can like the experience of having something taste better, like is more enjoyable of it. I have a sweet tooth, so I think I'll always, and I love bread, so I've been like learning to make sourdough and things like that. But like, I think that, really like having things taste good, like makes a big difference and not feeling I have to like sacrifice from some like healthy meal.
Yeah, no, you can. Listen, I love pizza, you guys. I love pasta. I love noodles. I'm Chinese. These are like my comfort foods and my loves, and I don't give them up. I don't have them all the time, but I treat my body in a certain way that when I'm like, oh, I feel like having pizza, it's not going to put 10 pounds on me. My body receives it, and it's just having that energy and that level of gratitude and that connection with your food and where it comes from, where your body's going to absorb what it needs from it and not what it doesn't. So I know it sounds a little crazy, but you just give it a try and you'll see that it works. And we'll definitely do that together. And I just want to acknowledge also what you said earlier, that I feel that is so helpful for people who are looking at you and seeing what you've accomplished, and you're just like, go where you're comfortable, like go on whatever platform you're comfortable, share what you're comfortable with and start small. And I think that that's such important advice because we started Just Add Water was started in little Ziploc snack baggies for my clients where, they're traveling and coming back up fast after traveling. And I'm just like formulating these powders together into this recipe. And I'm like, just have one of these every day while you're gone and come back to me, semi-whole. And that's how Just Add Water started. It's been, we're still doing it on our own and it's still self-funded. And I think that's such an important reminder.
It's honestly very, very impressive of it. Well, I'm so grateful that you had me, and I can't wait to take a culinary alchemy.
Yes, I'll text you after this.
Okay, great. So grateful.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So thank you so much. I just love everything you have to share. And
Wednesday.
Yes, you guys too, and thank you guys for coming on. And I see some questions, but you know what? You can send questions to Sophia. Yeah,
Roberta, like
I love it.
I love it. I love you. I'll text you.
Love you too. All right. Okay, bye.